Good afternoon, everybody. This is Rico and Nico once again in our podcast. We're here in the Nico headquarters. How are you feeling, baby?
I'm feeling
Yeah.
feeling like my hair. Ready to rock.
And you got the glasses on too. You got all the swag.
I got glasses and you ain't got contacts.
I know. We're changing. We're evolving. And speaking of evolving,
Don't talk about the iPhone. I knew you was gonna pivot.
No. I wasn't finna talk about it. I was gonna mention it and then see your face and then be like, no, I'm just joking.
I knew that was coming.
I wasn't gonna talk about
I
it.
know that was your energy coming into this.
I know, yeah, for real.
iPhone 14.
I was gonna say the iPhone 14 and then laugh.
Okay.
But that was a joke. That's not the
yeah.
That's not the
I didn't want to be actual. What's the topic?
So speaking of evolution,
okay.
Many things are evolving. Our looks, the iPhones are evolving,
right,
as well as movies, because I've been watching a lot of movies lately.
Yes.
No, like in the past few years, I was like, oh, I don't want to watch movies because if I don't got nobody to watch it with, movies are BS. They're too short.
Okay.
But lately I've been liking this little watching movies,
You've been
analyzing movies.
You've been binging a lot.
Yeah, I've been binging a lot of movies. Okay. Yes, analyzing them. I really like it. Thinking of storytelling and screenplay writing and all that. And I was thinking that these Disney movies lately have been way better as far as sending a message out to the kids. In my humble opinion. So think of what's the name of the one that lived in the sea and then she didn't have legs and then
you talking about a Little Mermaid?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
So think of her. Think of the one with the seven midgets. What's the name of that one?
Snow White and the Seven
Dwarfs. There you go, that one.
Goodness.
I don't remember the names.
I can already tell it's gonna be something.
I'm 25. I watch R-rated stuff all the time. If it ain't Marvel, I don't know.
Because you were born in 1997, 3 years to the new millennium. But okay. All right.
You wish you was my age. Get out of here. So and now the movies that come out lately, they're not as like in those movies back in the day.
They're not as their tropes are different.
Exactly. Like the message is a little different. Like it's always like the man gets the woman or they fall in love and they're together and they live happily ever after.
Yeah, the fantasy.
Like it's a little more like if you say you haven't seen Encanto, but it has to do with family. Yeah. So Encanto goes a lot into family issues. What's another big one? The one with the Hawaiian people. Moana, yeah. I haven't watched Moana, but I watched the ending. I think that's where the sea talks or something. And then what's the other Frozen? Frozen was huge when it came out.
I didn't watch the second
one. It doesn't have to do with the prince, saving the girl, and she's saving her and all that. Kind of like it's just I think it's a healthier message to send to everybody, and I really like it.
Okay. I don't really have any type of feelings about certain messages or like this evolution. I can't say better or for worse. I will say that the princess syndrome or the damsel in distress syndrome that they have, it's prevalent in a lot of stories. It speaks on what they call benevolent sexism, which basically says that women need help.
It fits it.
And women are the weaker of the sex, and they need to be saved. That's not the truth in a lot of situations, but either side they exploit that double standard. But yeah, if you look at, I'm just gonna name some movies off the top of my head. Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, Sleeping Beauty, Little Mermaid. Those movies where the idea was to build a romantic interest with some guy who was always affluent. And
that's kind of what it was about.
Yeah, with some woman who basically may either have an unbeknownst royal background or is kind of common. It's basically, I hate to say it, it's basically hypergamy in action. So two people will get together and have a spark of love, like true love, and then the male in just that round elevates the woman into a position of royalty.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's kind of predictable.
It's really predictable,
but it's part of people's who adults now. It's part of their childhoods. That's what they were raised with.
And a lot of people identify with it. It allows boys into men to identify as the chivalrous man who saves the woman. It allows a lot of women to say that your knight in shining armor one day save you from whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of telling people what to do, and I mean I say people, and I do mean people in my opinion, in the sense that when they're adults, that's how they're gonna think. So now when we watched it, we were kids, but now as adults, that's kind of like what you have in the back of your mind.
You fantasize that it should be that simple. A 90-minute movie saying that good always wins. The when you identify the perfect guy, he's going to be perfect, and you just gotta wait. You just gotta get through the story, right? But you never really they put intrinsic good upon everybody. So the villain is the villain. The good guy is a good guy, and the damsel in distress is the damsel in distress. And you have comic relief, and
it's very simplistic in one
way. It's real simplistic, and people want things to be that simple. When I look at Disney movies, they were cool coming up, back in the day, but they're based on nursery rhymes and fairy tales. So
exactly.
I never gave them much thought because that these are stories from way back in the day. Medieval knights, kings, and queens, do them black. So back in medieval times, the Crusades and stuff. Once you start doing research and you're older, you realize it's never been like that. Chivalry is a certain thing, and you really shouldn't give over to the fantasy, but a lot of people still adhere to that.
At the same time, yes, they are simplistic, but if it's being shown to kids, it should be a little simplistic. So I'm not like saying, oh, it's just too simplistic, but it's okay. It's kind of understandable if it's a kids movie that
it helps show the good guys and the bad guys, right? So, but I think Disney went through in the mid to late 90s, they went through a transition. Like that's where you get the Lion Kings. That's where you get like a lot more.
I used to love Lion King.
Yeah, Lion King still a fire movie, still a fire green movie. And then you get all through the 2000s where you start really getting weird movies like Dinosaur and Treasure Planet and stuff, and still different movies like Atlantis was an interesting movie.
That's the one, the cartoonish kind of looking one, right?
It definitely was a cartoon, but
they came up with two.
Maybe it's a sequel, but it went to Atlantis, and it was a very
program. I know what you're talking about.
Very different program. Still a princess, and then when Pixar came into play, and you start getting different movies, you start getting different messages. What I look at now with say Disney, no different than anybody else, is inclusiveness and wokeism, and I don't have a problem with that. My only
inclusiveness and wokeism, you mean before or now?
Now. Oh. Now, but if you would have tried inclusion and wokeism back in the 90s, it would have never sold, ever. We wouldn't even try.
And they don't want to do that because then it's not profitable.
Because it wasn't profitable back then. But now, you see things you can kind of they're touching on more adult topics. Like now, us at our age and the children now, there's a unified message in everything we can see. So the Toy Stories and the Ups and the Wallies, you can see those movies and there's some there for adults that they can resonate with that children might not see. The Encantos, the Cocos, and all that.
Exactly. So I feel like they're a little more mature.
And I'm glad that they have writers that are finding that lane in these Disney movies so that everybody can have
which is not easy to fit it for kids and then put in a good,
you can.
You gotta make it like kid friendly.
But you want to sell it. You want to sell it.
And sell it at the same time.
Kid friendly is just great songs, very tropey characters, and sequels. Like can you make Olaf? Can you make them fall in love with Olaf? Can you make Lilo and Stitch? Can you make a Stitch character? Can you make something Gorgu? Can you make a character that children can resonate with? That's all it is. Kids are gonna love whatever cute. So that's what they're gonna go for. That's why that movie, Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oh, the one with the dragons, yeah. I didn't watch it, but I heard.
I went and saw that one, and you don't even think about that when it's kind of like, oh, okay, it was there. Aquafina was there, but it was like, and what the children resonate with was the giant, like roly-poly, rideable that she had. But all the other characters were kind of, all right, whatever.
I heard it was horrible.
It wasn't horrible.
It was still not the message of the what you said in distress.
Like Dance in
And
Distress.
yeah, and
Yeah,
the whole
because
man
that
and
movie
the,
was really Mulan revisited. Really, it was basically the woman was
basically,
basically
yeah.
trying to save her kingdom and the kingdoms, and it was basically Mulan revisited. She was just royal, and then there were other women, and there were more like neutral factors coming in. I don't mind the wokeism. It's just when you start getting blatant with it, and people know about it before the movie comes out. Like the whole thing, I still want to watch Buzz Lightyear, right?
Oh, I just watched it 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm
But
like,
you go ahead. I'll
and Buzz
give my
Lightyear
thoughts
was
on it.
well, I didn't watch all of it. I liked
You
what it was
watched till
about.
what point?
I watched up until the point where he got into the future and they were talking about Zurg, and I stopped watching it at that point.
Oh, so when he found out
That
oh no, you didn't.
yeah, see when his partner she got married, and he watched the kids grow up and everything, his son will grow up and everything.
Okay, I almost spoiled the crap out of it.
Yeah, they showed an accelerated relationship between two women. It was super accelerated. If you weren't really trying to pay attention to it, you wouldn't even realize it. Older kids might have been like, "Oh, there's two women. They had a son. He had grandchildren." I was more taken back that she died and left a message that she got cancer, because they slowed the movie down for that. I'm not going to be there the next time you come around. And you realize that Buzz, every time he left, he was gone for 4 years. Like literally, they showed him, he went for like 20 trips at 4 years apiece.
Yeah, it took him, I think, 60 years.
Like 60 years. So how many trips did he take? And it's just like, and every time you leave, and he was so focused on doing that he really let the lives of those around him slip away. And then I also don't like that Chris Evans was a voice instead of.
Oh no, that we can all agree that was a horrible decision. I watched the movie, and I mean, I ended it, and I think it was such a great movie.
Really? I didn't think it was going to be a bad movie. But I think a lot of people went into that movie thinking that, oh, Toy Story.
No.
Because there was Toy Story the movies.
But I feel like they didn't try to lead you on with Toy Story though. No. In my opinion, I don't think they tried.
I didn't see any Easter eggs up at that point. But a lot of people forget that there was a whole Buzz Lightyear Starfleet Academy cartoon. There was
no, I did.
Yeah, there was all that kind of would fill in the gaps. Like, okay, this is Star Command, and kind of prepare you to, okay, this is just a movie that really shows you who Buzz Lightyear is. They could have Disney could have did a Western and did Woody.
Yeah, Woody, yeah.
They could have did that, but that would have been interesting. But it just is.
I think if Disney didn't get the original guy, I don't know his name, it's because they couldn't. So I don't want to say, Disney messed up.
Tim Allen.
I think they got some contractual, some contract stuff that they couldn't get him, but they had to make the movie. I think it's something.
But hey,
that guy would have been way cheaper than Chris Evans. What you mean? Yeah.
But hey,
okay, not way cheaper, but cheaper.
But I just say this. As far as, like I said, inclusion and wokeism, I like seeing a diverse cast. I like seeing more Black and brown people. I like seeing more cultures represented. I would love to see Disney become more like Star Trek, where everyone is represented, so that kids are gonna love the characters regardless. But I'm really waiting to see people from different cultures. Like, I love Moana. I love the idea that it's Polynesian culture. I love the idea of Raya in The Last Dragon, because it's like Southeastern Asia. I love that idea. You ever seen? Did you see Big Hero 6?
Encanto. Huh?
Encanto.
Big Hero 6. That's a big robot. Or
Betamax. And they were in the new future in San Francisco, but it was heavily Japanese culture. A lot more. It could have been a lot more, but
I feel like I didn't.
Yeah, and I like how diverse that cast was. I love diversity. Disney should be supremely diverse. The idea, the days of Tarzan, that's ridiculous. The days like
Tarzan's another example of the older movies.
Yeah, older movie, and then you also get the idea of the female trope. I love Jane and Tarzan. I like the idea of Kyra in Atlantis. I love Mirda in Brave. I like Mulan and Jasmine. I like the women that can hold their own and they can add to the energy and the action of the plot. I like that. The old school back in the day when everything was Disney and it was mad British, and those princesses were like kind of just laid back and waiting for to be rescued. No, those days are dead, man.
Those days are, and I'm glad they are.
I'm glad they are. I'm glad they are.
I feel like they were just doing a whole harm to society. It's just that, I mean, kids were watching it, so it's just that the adults that they will become.
Yeah,
that's the society.
Yeah, I feel that I just had a conversation with somebody about preferential treatment. We could talk about that one next. But the idea that the damsel in distress, there is distress. There might be a damsel involved, and there might be a man involved.
Yeah, I'm the man in distress.
But they're all basically there's a plot, there's a problem, and see about fixing it. I like the Maleficent movies when they rewrote the plot and came back.
Yeah.
And she was.
I think it was two, right?
Two of them, and she wasn't really the villain in the movie. The king was the villain in that movie, in the first one at least. And then I haven't seen Cruella, so I don't know how that one went down.
You gotta watch Encanto. You're really missing out.
Yeah, I know Encanto was I
watched it twice.
Encanto, Soul, Inside Out.
You haven't seen Inside Out?
I haven't seen Inside Out.
Oh God,
I know
that was so good.
And I ain't gonna lie. For me, it took me a little while to watch some of the newer movies because so many of the movies touch on things personal for me as a father. So I watched a movie called Storks. That's I think with DreamWorks. I watched Coco, and Coco got to a point where it's hard for me to watch because the father
Coco,
never,
which is someone does the
guitar
player. The Dwayne Johnson one.
No, that's Moana.
Oh,
Coco was the one where it was Mexican culture, and basically what it was that there was a famous guitar player, and the little boy wanted to be like him. And the one with the grandson who went to the other side. Man, that was so dope. But what happened was it was a father that you die twice. And basically, if you die, you go to the underworld. And if people remember you, you stay in the underworld. And you can live very lavish in the underworld if people remember you. But if no one remembers you and you're forgotten, you die again and you die permanently. You don't no longer exist. So what happened was the father in Coco, the only person that remembered him was his daughter, which Coco was the grandmother of that family. She's the only person who remembered him because what happened was they thought he was a deadbeat. He didn't come back. When you find out later on, something happened to him that was plot driven, and he didn't abandon his family. So it basically they put him on the Alfuenda, which is all the pictures of the family. And when your family remembers you, it helps you live on in the afterlife. For me, that struck a really serious chord because, as in my personal feelings, as a father, I had to fight to find recognition and be acknowledged. I'm not what a lot of individuals thought I was because of the narrative that was put out, and it was a big thing about family and the narrative because the whole family thought that he was a deadbeat. They didn't know the true story. He didn't even know because of the plot, what things happened in the plot. But when things finally came out, the day was saved and everything came right. But there were parts in Coco that, because they have a couple parts where they have a breakdown of people don't get along and they get back together. But it was like basically one of those moments where it was revealing. I was like, oh man, these movies, because now they're intertwining adult themes and adult messages.
Yeah, I mean adult things in a good way.
In a good way, and sometimes it speaks to the younger parts to where, like, as an adult, it speaks to the child in you for things, childhood traumas and things that you're like, oh man, this movie gets it. So your child is enjoying a child's movie, but you're as an adult enjoying a movie with an adult's perspective, going through possibly sometimes through childlike moments, like with Up and like dealing with death and grandparents or
I remember
or seeing adversity. Yeah, I mean it's just
Up is a pretty. Oh yeah. I mean it's comedy, it's funny and this and that, but it's pretty. I think it's pretty.
Yeah, that's like Wall-E when you think about environment. And
I hated Wall-E.
You hated Wall-E, man. Everything he went through,
so boring.
Everything he went through to protect life, but you saw what happened to people. You saw what happened to human beings. They had become. Yeah,
but it was. I was a kid and I was like falling asleep. I remember.
But no, there's been a lot of good movies. I like Moana. I like they showed that Maui was always he was this big machismo guy, but he really was
That's the one with the Rock.
That was one with the Rock, but really he wanted validation. He's always going for validation, no matter how big and powerful he is.
Which that's always true.
He wanted validation.
True. I haven't seen it. I know I'm missing out. I probably would tonight.
Yeah.
But I like those messages a lot.
Yeah.
Those a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, because that movie, Moana, really helped The Rock realize that he had to kind of grow up. He didn't need to get validation from people. He did things that validate himself. And she was trying to prove herself to her father, her mother, but really to her village. But she wanted to solve the problem. She wasn't trying to prove herself because she didn't want to take on. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you.
Because I will watch it. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think.
Disney don't sue us.
Yeah, Disney don't sue us. Yeah, they're not gonna sue us. We don't have any money to pay. Hey, I got $3.
Hey,
and
they own this now. So.
Oh yeah, and that's true. And let us know what you guys think down below. What movies were better? The ones from before, the ones from now. What do you think about the kiss between the two women in the Buzz Lightyear movie? Am I the man in distress that will find his sugar mama to help him out? I don't know. Let us know in the comments down below what you think. Leave a like,
a comment, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe and share it to all of your friends. Thank you, Rico, for this podcast, and thank you guys for watching at home. See you in the next podcast.
You know what you need to do? You need to watch the Good Dinosaur. That's like one of the only Disney movies that came out recently that no one talked about.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. Y'all be good. Bye.